So welcome everybody. My name is Andrea Caprio and I'm happy to present to you the 5 proven steps to curb adrenal fatigue syndrome and increase your energy. So I'm glad to have you here. I will actually go online so you can see me, and hello everybody. Glad to have you here. So we are gonna look today into the various ways to increase your energy. I hope you're all ready to go. I am definitely. I'm happy to have you here. I'm sorry if there were any mix-up with the times due to the time changes. I think there was some confusion on the program. I first of all want to find out from you if you can hear and see me. Please just type in the comments below yes, and if you can hear me loud and clear. There's the comment section, so if you can just type a yes or a no if you can hear me. Also, just double check. Perfect. Hello, Leonard from South Africa. Oh, great to see you here. I lived in South Africa many years. Miss it. Great. I'm glad there you can hear and see me. I would like just to remind you also, please, to keep off your cell phones. If you have any other tabs open or any programs, just close them during the webinar. Sometimes, you know, the connection is not so well. I hope also this time I will have no disconnection. I had, unfortunately, last time a disconnection, but if there is anything, I will definitely record everything and you get the replay. So let's start. I'm looking forward to being with you here, and I just want to start straight ahead. I will now put myself off. I have prepared a few slides for you, and so you can see them better, but I'm here with you. So great to have you here. Now, I want just to reassure you that you are in the right place if you're struggling with either adrenal fatigue syndrome, with exhaustion, if you have severe stress or you're feeling constantly overwhelmed. But also if you might have been trying to change actually to eat healthier and just struggle with this. I'm definitely looking into a few ideas here. And a lot of people have tried again and again to do diets or take some kind of medication and supplements and still didn't get better. It's just very confusing out there, and a lot of people actually not very sure, you know, what's happening and how to get better. So that is definitely something as well which I want to reassure and address here. And also for those who think that they will never get better, I have good news for you. Adrenal fatigue and exhaustion is definitely something you can get better. So I would like to know from you, why are you here and what are your issues? I guess you kind of came to this webinar because you're interested. Perhaps you got my emails, or, you know, you perhaps saw some posts or something like that. What are your issues? Do you have any adrenal fatigue issues, exhaustion? Why are you here? And how can I perhaps also address some of these? Type them again in the comments. Feel free, and then I can go a little bit deeper as well. I try to do this webinar as interactive as possible. So it's really important that you know, just type down the things you are struggling with. So while you do that, I'm going to continue and just going to tell you a little bit about myself. I'm the founder and owner of Wellness Methods, and I am a certified transformational nutrition coach, and I'm also a corporate wellness coach. I have my own story on how I got here to speak to you and to get to what I'm doing as well. I think I've been a busy person my whole life. I always have some projects. I always have something going on or so. And I think it started when I was young, a teenager, with my dad with whom I don't have the greatest relationship, at least at the time. It has gotten better. But when I was a young person, my parents divorced and my dad didn't see me for many, many years. And I felt kind of abandoned by him. And I felt that I was not worthy and I was not good enough. And that's why he would not see me. And I think from there, I kind of got this urge, really that I wanted to prove myself to prove myself to him, but to prove myself to myself. And I've always strived to do better and better. So I'm originally from Munich. You can probably hear the accent. And I traveled a lot. As I mentioned earlier, I lived in South Africa, before that in Kenya. Now I'm in Miami. So I'm always having something new. I think you see the pattern. I've opened several companies myself. And have been in leadership positions as well. So I've always tried to do better and better and better. And I've realized that eventually the stress took its toll. I had some while ago, it's really that I, was very tired. My energy was completely down. I couldn't understand why. I had stomach problems. I just didn't feel very well. And I'm 50 years old, starting all over again with things and all that, is kind of, I took my toll. And I came across a cleanse some while ago, and I started eating really healthy. And when I did that, I cut out a lot of things, and I'll go a little bit more into detail later what I did. But I cut out the unhealthy food, and I felt so much better. My energy went up, and my digestive issues I had for years and years really went away. And I said, wow, that's powerful. I mean, what is this? So I kind of got interested, and there was, things happen in my life. I got a post on Facebook, probably a similar post, which might have made you come to this webinar, speaking about education in nutrition. So I started that education in nutrition with the Institute of Transformational Nutrition. And I became a certified transformational nutrition coach. And I was like, wow, and it helped me so much. I learned, all the psychology. I learned spirituality around that, how food obviously influences our well-being. So I understood the science behind. And I also obviously learned the coaching. And I started, helping people around me. And they all had amazing results. I share some of them a bit later with you. So I definitely thought I was on something. I had a couple of setbacks as well, I must say. I had a stomach pain, which initially I thought was H. pylori. I treated that and it was better, but the pain was still there. And at that stage, I realized that I can't just treat myself with nutrition only. I have really to look at myself holistically, and I realized how much, I was stressed and how much my adrenals were fatigued. And you might not have heard about adrenal fatigue perhaps before, but that is often something which sits at the root cause, and I will go a little bit into it later. And, everything made sense. And since that, I'm really looking after myself more holistically. I got the tools of spirituality and really addressing the stress and not looking at the symptoms, but really looking holistically at myself. And when I do that, I'm fine. So obviously, stress, I can't avoid it. Just preparing this webinar, I was obviously stressed. But what I did was breathe deeply and do all kinds of things. So that is how I got here. I would actually also like to know from you, what do you know actually what adrenal fatigue is? Just if you want to type in the comments, what are your thoughts around adrenal fatigue? Do you know what that is? So I see a couple of comments. So definitely a lot of people, I think, can relate to that. I'm glad. I want to go now into what adrenal fatigue is, and I want just to explain a little bit behind what it is. Adrenal fatigue is something which is not really recognized yet by the medical boards. A lot of doctors, if you see them, they will say, yeah, that doesn't exist or so. Adrenal fatigue is a non-Addison's hypoadrenia or subclinical hypoadrenia. And it is also something which is recognized by the medical boards. It's the HPA axis dysfunction. So it's the hypothalamus, pituitary, and adrenal glands which have a dysfunctional. And that is actually recognized by the medical society. And what happens in there is that adrenal fatigue, or as I say, the HPA axis dysfunction, can really wreak havoc with your life. In more serious cases, it's so diminished that you may have difficulties even getting out of bed for more than a few hours per day. So with each increment of reduction of your adrenal function, every organ actually and the system in your body is more profoundly affected. And that's why so often people with adrenal fatigue, get really, really tired and sick. So the changes occur in your carbohydrate, protein, and fat metabolism, but also in the fluid and electrolyte balance, and even heart and cardiovascular system, and even your sex drives. So a lot of alterations take place at a biochemical and cellular level in response to, and also to compensate for the decrease in adrenal hormones that occur. So your body just does its best to make up for underfunctioning adrenal glands, but obviously it does so at a price. And I see some of the comments here. It is definitely, yes, Leonard, I see your comments. That's great. I recognize that you're absolutely right. Not a lot of doctors will recognize this, and you definitely had your fair share. I'm glad you found a lot of relief there, what you've done. I hope I can help you a little bit further here. But perhaps to stay a little bit what also happens when you have adrenal fatigue, I think the worst of most people is to just get up in the morning. And that happens because when you have adrenal fatigue, often your cortisol levels are affected. And the cortisol level normally is of a normal healthy person kind of goes up in the morning, and then slowly over the day it goes down in the evening. So you have a curve throughout the day. And it's important that the cortisol level goes down in the evening, which with people with adrenal fatigue, it does not, because when the cortisol level goes down, the melatonin goes up, and that is important for our sleep. That is why so many people which have a dysfunction here can't sleep, because the melatonin doesn't go up at night to allow us, and then we don't sleep at night, and obviously as a result we can't get up in the morning. So from there, it's as well that we suffer of fatigue during the day throughout, often in the afternoons, and usually at night we are kind of wide awake. That might be just that we can't fall asleep, or in the middle of the night we wake up. This is all linked, the cortisol is linked to the neurotransmitters, and obviously the adrenaline, the neuroepinephrine, they are generally lower than they should be. We have difficulties handling stress, and very often a telltale sign is also that we are craving salty foods and even sweet foods, but often salty foods due to the low aldosterone level and the frequent urination with that, which is another sign. A lot of people with adrenal fatigue are drinking a lot of coffee, just stay awake, and that is actually the worst what can happen, because it just messes up with your system, and the more coffee you drink, the more your cortisol levels are not regulated. So it's just a vicious circle, and the best there is obviously to stop drinking coffee. Your immune system is often affected, and less frequent happens that you might have perhaps allergies or asthma, dark circles under the eye, you feel dizzy, your skin is dry. You might have extreme tiredness an hour after exercise. Joint pain happens sometimes. And blood pressure and blood sugar are usually quite low or very variable in people with adrenal fatigue. And you might also have lower back pain or numbness in your fingers. And because of, all these things being out of sync, often a weight gain. So I would like to know from you, what is your biggest frustration? Can you identify with anything what I mentioned there? So you can also type in the comment section. And I would like to share with you also a case study with one of my clients. He has a story of abuse, an abandoned man in his life, and he has been sexually abused when he was young and was abducted by his mother. Consequently, he has developed a story where he wanted to prove that he can achieve despite adversity in his life. He's in a very, very stressful position and is afraid to lose his job. He has been really working very hard. As he has been emotionally stressed over many years, his system went into exhaustion and he has developed constant fatigue and stress eating with weight gain. He came to see me to improve his energy and eating habits adapted to his busy work life. He was so busy, it was really difficult. So in only a few sessions, we instilled healthy eating habits and developed a better lifestyle program. And there I incorporated with him exercise, meditation, mindful eating practice, and especially his sleep, to improve his sleep. And also I had to really adapt it, to his busy life because he was traveling all the time. So, he needed good solutions. So after working with me, his sleep and energy improved. He lost weight and felt really so much confident in his life. He was a very interesting patient to work with. He had taken plenty of medication and all that, and eventually he could stop those because he felt so much better, and he had been seeing other doctors all along. So I see some people can identify, brain fog is definitely something which is very common. Just the mind shutting down. I see that. Just a couple of myths which I want to bust here. I mentioned those. A lot of people think that the physician is the best person to help them. They can, but not often. I always say a normal medical doctor will often not recognize adrenal fatigue. They might, it starts a little bit, but ideally, if you feel really like you have tried everything and nothing helps, or, you have those symptoms I just mentioned, it is good to work really with a professional who works holistically. So that might be a doctor who is, a naturopath or a holistic doctor, or perhaps an oriental medicine. So somebody really who gets a holistic picture, but is a professional, and that's also quite important. Myth number 2 is steroids are a fast and effective way to overcome adrenal fatigue. I personally don't think so. They might help you in the short run. Steroids are a little bit like a Band-Aid. It's like medicine, you take it, you feel perhaps better immediately, but the effect on your body there's a lot of secondary effect, and also eventually the symptoms will come out again, and it's not something which will help you in the long run. Myth number 3 is a lot of people, I hear that they have been, tired, and I see some here of our participants mention that as well. They have been tired really for a very long time, or they have very unusual symptoms, and the doctors, or a lot of doctors, can't figure them out. There is possibility. It's just the way to treat it holistically. I see it on myself. I didn't always look holistically at myself, and when I look at myself and I treat myself holistically, I am fine. So it is possible, but it takes time. Natural nutrients are good, especially calendula and herbs, is another myth. I am hearing so many people who say, oh, try this and try that herb and that supplement and that glandular or whatever thing. And I'm on a lot of forums, and I see actually scary things happening there, because what helps one person is not necessarily helping the other person. So it's really important that you work with a professional practitioner together, and take a holistic approach, because diet is so important too, and your lifestyle too. And I'm going to get into that later. Fasting, detoxification, and exercise will help adrenal fatigue. There is a yes, no answer to it. When you are so fatigued that you're not getting out of bed anymore, and that would be your stage 3, stage 4 adrenal fatigue, and you add fasting or heavy exercise to it, you will get more tired, because your adrenals are already so depleted that you can't keep up. And fasting, detox, and exercise are a stress on your body. So you need really to get that, first of all, to build up your adrenals and make sure, you're a bit stronger. And then you might perhaps to do a detox, which should be a very gentle one, a very natural one. If you're ever interested, I have a great 21-day detox. And by the way, there's a surprise on it later on. So stay tuned. I have later on a couple of surprises here. You don't want to miss those. And also exercise, start off with very slow exercise, and then eventually, you can go a little bit heavier if you are stronger. Most people recover from adrenal fatigue if given plenty of rest. Again, yes, rest is important, but it's not all. If you only rest, you will not heal. It's just like this with adrenal fatigue. If you are exhausted, you need just to look after your system holistically. You need to address diet and lifestyle, and that includes sleep. But without that, you will not go any further. Sorry, I need to drink water. Very important to drink water, guys. Sorry for that. Now, I want to go into the main part of my webinar, the 5 proven steps to curb adrenal fatigue syndrome and increase your energy. You might want to keep a pen ready here. There's a lot to cover. However, don't forget also, I will send you will get a replay later on. If you want to take down some notes, and just a quick disclaimer, this is for educational purpose only. I am not a doctor. I'm not giving any advice. I'm not diagnosing you. I'm also, please keep in mind that, what works for one person does not work for another person. So whatever you do here and whatever I'm saying, you should always double check with your own medical practitioner. Your story, I don't know your story, and it might perhaps not work with what you have, or it might be counterindicative to, I don't know, what medication you take or whatever. So always be careful when you do that. So that is my disclaimer from my side. A quick morning routine for an energy boost is my tip number 1. And there I do 2 things, and I do it every morning. I started some while ago, I don't know, 2 years ago or so. And it's one of the best tips I can't live without. Drink hot water with lemon, freshly squeezed lemon juice. Really important. A big glass of warm or hot water. And that flushes out all your toxins which have accumulated during the night. And you start really with a good good day of fresh digestive juices. Your digestive system immediately gets a boost, and the gut is really important for your health, and that will help you immediately. So you are, that you are feeling well for the day, and it gives you also a lot of good feelings in terms of your cortisol can go up with this already, because your whole hormonal system is obviously linked to the gut. And when that is functioning, it helps your hormones also to be more leveled. The second thing, what is really, really good, is 15 minutes of sunshine in the morning. Now, I hear those people from London or wherever they are, where it's not sunny. I'm in Miami, so usually it is sunny and warm. I hear often, but it's no sun, or it's winter, or whatever. Daylight is fine. Okay, just get out for 15 minutes every morning. Do it early in the morning. This helps your cortisol levels to go up quite quickly. And I mentioned earlier, it's really important to have your cortisol levels up in the morning, and then they can automatically, go through the day and slowly get down at night. So really, really important to get out, have a gentle walk, or, take breakfast out, or just breathe, do some breathing exercises out. And that also helps you with vitamin D. Perhaps that vitamin D, most people are deficient in vitamin D, about 70% of the population, even in places like Miami. So really, really important to increase the vitamin D, and that you can do with daylight. When you do that, keep your glasses off, your sunglasses, because your retina actually really takes in the daylight, and that helps you. Tip number 2 is to have the ideal diet. And that's a very vast subject. And I'm going in this far more in details in my courses, in my coaching, obviously, than we can go in this webinar. But a couple of hints here, what is the right foods and what are the wrong foods. Starting with your macronutrients, the carbohydrates are really, really important. And I hear a lot of people who say actually that when you have adrenal fatigue, carbs should not be eaten, or you should have a low carb. It is true, but you still need some carbs, but you need the right carbs. So what is good is to have complex carbs and not simple carbs. Now, complex carbs includes grains, includes beans and pulses, and also includes vegetables and fruits. A lot of people forget that. Vegetable and fruits are predominantly have carbs, and very importantly, together also with the grains and with pulses, fiber, which is very important for our digestion and for our gut health. So it's really important that you eat the right carbs, and these are the complex one, not the simple. Simple carbs are pasta, gluten pasta, white polished rice, sugar, cereals, and all these things. And you should really avoid those. The next important thing, and that's also something which is very often forgotten, is to eat fats. A lot of people still think that fats make you fat, and it is not true. It depends on what fats, and it does depend obviously on the quantity, but the healthy fats are good for you, and actually they are needed because they allow your neurotransmitters to work, they allow your hormones to work, and your whole metabolism can thrive only when you have enough fats. The good fats are seeds, all kind of seeds. You can eat hemp seeds, are some, perhaps chia seeds as well. And then you have, sunflower seeds and pumpkin seeds and all that. They're all really, really good. And also the oils thereof, remember to take them. Olive oil is another very good oil to take, virgin olive oil, by the way, and coconut oil. The other thing is butter has always this kind of, in-between thing. If you eat animal source, you can take butter, but always take it grass-fed butter. And also remember to take a lot or eat a lot of nuts. Any nuts are good, especially good are walnuts and almonds, but any nuts, are good. Just make sure they're natural. They're not sweetened or salted or anything. Just keep them natural. They are the best ones. And the other important macronutrient are protein. Protein includes, as you know, obviously meat, fish, and also vegetable protein. Beans are very high and nuts are very high in protein. So just ensure you have a rather high protein rich diet. On the meat, I always say again, they're grass-fed or organic, eggs as well. Rather use organic, cage-free or cage-free from cage-free hens. And the fish should always be wild-caught, not farmed. They are far more pollutant when they're farmed, and they have a lot of can have a lot of bad things in them, and as well they have less essential fatty acids in there. You can also, especially if you are perhaps not eating so much protein in your diet, perhaps you're vegetarian, I am pescatarian, so I have always to be careful, is protein powder, and they are very good. Complete protein powder as pea and hemp protein powder, and that's a great thing to use that in the morning when you do your smoothies. I love doing smoothies, and just as a little anecdote here, I had recently had to move out of my place because we had a inundation here, and I couldn't make my smoothies, so I ate oats most of the mornings, which were far higher in carbs, still good thing, but I didn't have my smoothies, and every afternoon I felt tired. I came back a couple of days back into my place, and I started to do my smoothies again, and I feel not tired anymore in the afternoon. Isn't that amazing? Just those little things, help with the diet. Now, looking at a perfect day, and that is Dr. Chris Johnson, who's a specialist with adrenal fatigue, by the way, who recommends this, is during the breakfast, you should have a really protein-rich breakfast, so ideally a smoothie with 1 serving of protein, 1 serving of fat, and 1 carb, so quite low in carbs. Lunch, 1 protein, 1 serving fat, 2 serving carbs. So you see, slowly we are increasing the carbs, and dinner, 1 serving protein, 1 serving fat, and 3 serving carbs. Now, why is that? That is that carbs bring your help your melatonin to increase and the cortisol level to go low. So that's why you want to have more carbs in the evening. So it allows you to sleep better, actually. So gradually in the evening, increase your carbs. But again, just make sure it's the right carbs. So carbs is vegetable and fruits, not too many fruits, because otherwise, you might spike up your blood sugar too much. And within that also, you might have heard of GI glycemic index. So you want sometimes to use perhaps also food which are low in the glycemic index. And you can use grains if you support them well. There should not be grains. Gluten is usually something, and I'm going to get there just now, which is not so healthy. So rather you can use in carbs at the night, for example, oats or perhaps brown rice if you support it well. And also very good is quinoa and buckwheat. Buckwheat has nothing to do with wheat and is gluten-free, by the way. And throughout the day, you can have non-starchy vegetables as snacks. By the way, non-starchy vegetables, you should actually fill up your plate with them. A lot of green leaf vegetables are really, really good for you. And your plate should always be more than half full with those, and then, have the rest there. And you can have that throughout the day. Now, avoid or limit. Sugar is one of the big things. And I stopped eating sugar and really don't eat any sugar anymore. I feel fine. I had definitely, that was the big needle mover for me, is to remove sugar. And it is important to read labels because sugar hides in every possible name. In my course, I have all the details on how to find which sugar to, what is sugar and what is sugar in disguise. The second thing is gluten. And gluten is something which I think is more recently become a problem. And there again, gluten hides everywhere. So a lot of people are intolerant to gluten, and it's a very good thing there to do an elimination diet with, some of those more allergenic foods, such as gluten. Coffee is something, especially with people with adrenal fatigue, I mentioned that earlier, is, really playing havoc with your cortisol levels. So ideally remove all the coffee, especially during the afternoon. Coffee, even 6 hours to 8 hours before sleeping, messes up your cortisol level. The other foods which often people are allergic to and don't know it are eggs, dairy, corn, and soy. Eggs is something definitely to look out. Dairy, I personally believe a lot of people also have a dairy intolerance. Very good to use there are, for example, almond milk or coconut milk and things like that to replace the dairy. keep, on cheese, to use something different. I know it's difficult. That's my big struggle, I must honestly say. Corn as well, because corn is also very highly treated, and that's why often people react. And by the way, that's also on gluten. Often it's not the gluten, but products with gluten like wheat have been treated so much with pesticides and herbicides and all that. So they kind of are, our system became allergic or intolerant to these substances. And soy plays often havoc with your hormones. And soy also is really something which is often GMO. So be careful with soy as well. All processed and refined foods, keep them off your plate. You should ideally eat what has no label. So the less ingredients are on your label, the better, and that will help you in the end. That's a key for your health, is put out processed and refined foods. Grains, I mentioned that earlier, so keep it gluten-free, so oats, quinoa, and buckwheat. And again, possible allergens. Also be careful. You might be allergic even to some vegetables. For example, nightshades are something I don't tolerate them very well, so I can only eat very little amounts to it. So if you suspect anything, an elimination diet is good, or even check with your doctor, do some tests if you have any intolerance or allergies or something like that. Also important and part of a diet is to drink enough water, and I'm going to drink water, and I invite you to drink water as well. Drink 8 to 10 big glasses of water. Depends a little bit on your on your height and weight and all that, but drinking water is really important for your digestion. It curbs, it flushes things out, it helps move things through your digestive system, and it helps also for you to absorb the nutrients, because often you might actually eat not so unhealthy, but the nutrients can't be absorbed. And that is often because the digestion is not working properly, and hence, water is really, really important. And getting to my favorite thing is the mindful eating. Whereas when you eat, you should really be present, not just eat in front of your computer or in front of TV or whatever. Sit down and value the food. Look at it, taste it, touch it, smell it, whatever. Take time to chew. It happens in your mouth, that you really chew, and the digestion happens in your mouth. So the longer you chew, you have your saliva, and then the enzymes already pre-digest your food in your mouth. And then when it goes down in your stomach and in your small intestines, where the most of the digestion takes place, and especially the absorption I just mentioned, then you will really be able to get the best out of your food. After all, food is there to nourish you. So just keep that in mind. So what are your biggest difficulties with following a healthy diet? Please answer in the comment area. I would love to know. Okay, Leonard, while you guys are answering, Leonard, I will just answer, and thank you for your participation. Really appreciate it. For my smoothies, I most of the time I use almond milk. I actually make my own almond milk. So I, blend them. I have a very strong blender. You need that. And then I pass them through the strainer, because like this, I know first of all, it tastes so much better than the shop bought. And also there's no sugar in there. And I put that in sort of a half a cup to a cup. I add a little bit of more water depending on what else I add, so I have a good consistency. I add usually half a banana or some berries or some kind of fruit. It might be a mango or something like that, a pineapple. And then I always add some greens. I personally like spinach, but you can also add, other greens, other leafy greens or so. Kale, some people like kale, whatever it is. And then I add boosters. In these boosters, it might be flaxseed oil, it might be seeds, hemp seeds, sometimes an avocado. I also have all kind of green powders I add there. I quite like lecithin I add. So it depends a little bit. Sometimes cinnamon. I had this morning cinnamon. It was actually quite nice. I enjoyed it. Even, raw cacao powder you could add if you like that. And then I add 1 scoop of protein powder. I just make sure that it's protein powder without sugar. I hope I answered that one. If you want more, I will definitely be able to share with you. And in my program, I speak a little bit more about that. I have actually a whole lot of smoothie recipes there, which are amazing. Now, let's move on, and I want to speak about 3 relaxing exercises during stressful times. So these are especially something when you're kind of in a stressful moment or you have a stressful event coming. And the first thing what I usually do, and that's like just before coming here, I did that, is really, really breathe deeply. And I would like you, if you are okay with us, just close your eyes and, we just do it quickly here. You can do it normally longer, but we just do 3 deep breaths. So just go with me, close your eyes and deeply breathe in and count to 6. And out, count to 6. And in. And out. And in. And out. And keep your eyes closed. And the next one I like to do as well is, in a stressful situation, is to get visual. And with that, I mean, just while your eyes are closed, remember a place what is significant for you, what represents home. It might be your home city, your home country. It might be, your house, your parents, or, I don't know, a friend from childhood with whom you played or something. So just imagine, that person or that place or so, and really imagine it, visualize it, and, see yourself in it, smell, I don't know, the smells, listen to the birds singing or whatever, noise you hear, see it, touch it, feel it. And you will get yourself probably to smile because, there are hopefully happy memories when you're young and you were there. So that's a very, very powerful exercise there. And the last one is to get present, just realize that you're in the present moment. So that might be just, listen to the sounds outside or listen to your own breath. Or even one thing I really like to do is to think, of somebody I'm really grateful for. And when I do this, and gratefulness is so, so, so important. I do it every morning. Actually, I do that exercise, to say 3 people, and I write it down, 3 people I'm grateful for. And I really, make it specific, not just I'm grateful, whatever, for somebody, but, I'm grateful for my child who brought me the breakfast to bed, or which made my day, or whatever it is. So really be specific. And when you do that, your mind shifts actually and gets into a present state. And hence our, we feel better. And that is really, really, really important for, for feeling better and for your health, and especially your adrenal health, and your stress levels will go down. Leonard, I will answer your question a little bit later. And I go in there a little bit later, but thank you for that. I also, on the number 4 of my tips, are the top tips to boost your happiness. And there, my top tip is to hug. I love hugs. I hope you hug as well. And you like it. 6 seconds and more are scientifically proven to increase your happiness. And that obviously helps to decrease your stress. So go hug somebody you like. And even, people around you. A quick hug is good, I think. A walk in the nature is really, really important. Just kind of connect to the nature. Be nearer to them, and when you do that, you can do that in your 15 minutes walk in the morning, for example. Absorb the nature, smell the air, and listen to the birds and all that. Get out in the nature. dress for success, or dress until fake it until you make it. Dressing, and especially for women, but also for men, is really good to actually improve your energy. You get a more positive energy when you dress well. So that is a little trick which helps me. I do dress every morning, well, and even if I feel down, and I know a lot of people, when they do that, when they're very tired, they don't get out of bed. Just get up, get out in the air, like I said, and dress up. And even if you go after in bed, but it will increase your energy. Smile is a beautiful thing to do. And there is smile at, when you go and buy your grocery, or at the postman, or even smile at yourself in the mirror will boost your happiness levels and help to bring your stress down. Listen to music, and there I mean like upbeat music. Don't make it like the saddest song on earth, because that probably brings you even down more. But, something like Pharrell song Happy is really something which gets me going. I love in the morning after I do my yoga and my meditation, I sometimes just put, earphones in and some music loud, and I dance. And my husband thinks I am crazy, and that's fine. I think he got used to it. But I can tell you, it brings up my level, my energy level. I love it. And kindness is something which is forgotten. Just be kind to people, and do it on purpose. It's not that, oh, look how kind I am, but, be mindfully kind, say thank you to people, keep the door open, give something perhaps to the poor or to your neighbor, perhaps, like here, you have your little tomatoes, and you can hand them to your neighbor. I'm sure they will be happy about it, or to somebody who doesn't have that. Very, very powerful energy booster. And socialize is something very often forgotten in adrenal fatigue, because we are just so tired. But get yourself out and see people. Make it a mission to see people. This is the number one important thing to do there as well. So I would be loving to hear a little bit, what is your happiness formula? Perhaps you have some ideas how you improve your happiness, and with that, obviously, boost your energy. And I see a lot of comments here. Thank you. Oh, Millie, you joined us. Thank you. That's great. Millie loves dancing and music as well. We should go and get a dance party together. And yes, it's not beating up yourself. It's also really, really important. Forgiving yourself. I hear you. I think it's really important to have a positive outlook in life. And it's, again, fake it till you make it. It's the law of attraction. You might have heard of the book of The Secret. Not everybody believes in it. I personally do, actually. But, just see things. When I see things positive, and I have my mantras, I use those, and that helps a lot. The best sleep hacks, so you awake refreshed. And there are some of my favorite, and that's something I learned recently, is really, really important. Now, in today's age, we just can't escape cell phones and computers and iPads and TV and even the neon lights, and even, those energy-saving lights, and they all have one thing: they emit blue light, and you might see it from outside somewhere. And this blue light, what happens here is that it avoids the melatonin production. I mentioned that again. I go back to it. It's really important. And the blue light, reduces the melatonin production. So 2 hours before you go to sleep, you should avoid all electronics. Now, I am honest with you, I just can't. I'm trying, and it's just not working all the time. And I do make efforts, but, it's definitely one of my things, and I guess a lot of other people too. But what helps there, if you really can't do it, and I really strongly suggest you do it, is to wear those yellow yellow shades. You get all kind of things. I think they're called like blue light shades or something like that. You can get them on Amazon. You usually find them there. They're not too costly, but if you wear those at least, 2 hours before you go to bed will definitely help you. The next tip I will share with you is get a new mattress if your mattress is older than 10 years. And obviously, if you feel it's not comfortable or so, a good mattress is really, really important. It should give you, the needed support, but should also be soft and comfortable. So you need to find the right one here. What does this stand for? Yes, sleep and sex. And it's mainly meaning that your bedroom should be your own sanctuary, and that's all what's going to happen in there. So even no reading and no TV, obviously. Your cell phone should be out. You should have perhaps just an alarm clock if you need one. But otherwise, if you need your cell phone, put your cell phone at least on flight mode, because it emits also waves, and that's very harmful for you. So keep, otherwise your bedroom only, for the best activities in life, and bring everything out. One of the big, big needle movers as well for a lot of people who improve their sleep. Cool air as well. I mean, I know here living in Miami, it's usually hot. We have to have air condition at night. So if you are in a place, keep your air condition, up if it's too hot, and open the window. Obviously, if it's cooler out there, make sure it's cool air. And then journaling is also something which might help you just to get, your thoughts out of your mind. And you can even use that at night to write down. If you wake up, for example, if you have anything, just write it in or so. But journaling is also something really powerful. And perhaps not here is meditation, something I really like as well. Quick do's and don'ts. Drink enough water. I mentioned that, so that's really, really important. Include fiber, enough fiber in your diet. A holistic approach. Now, you've seen here, I've addressed a lot of different areas here, and I go more into details in my program. But, a holistic approach is so important. You can't just treat one thing and then, think everything else will be fine. You really need to have your holistic approach. Get expert advice, and there I mentioned already, get a holistic doctor, naturopath or somebody, or perhaps a holistic nutrition specialist like myself, to help you with really implementing that. And one size fits not all. So what might fit perhaps for one person is not necessarily helping other people. So I'm curious to know, I shared a lot of things here. I hope you, took some notes. I would like to know from you, what is your biggest takeaway from this? And I just remind you, I'm going to share a couple of surprises here. So just stay with me here, and perhaps just let me know what is your biggest takeaway here. So I also want to share with you quickly a case study. I have this couple who are overweight. They both have their own stress, and we were looking at various angles. They were overweight to a point. I mean, both are obese, and he drank 6 cups of coffee every day. He went to fast food. He, was really, the diet was very unhealthy, and the lifestyle was very unhealthy. They were both really stressed, and they started working with me together. And just over a few weeks, they have a long way to go. So they started recently, actually, with me to work with me. And after a couple of weeks, he lost 15 pounds working with me, and he stopped drinking coffee, which was amazing. And it was hard for him initially, but he felt so much more energy. So, and she was kind of always taking care of others. It was her big thing, and she was obviously stressed because she always felt she had to help others and all that. And through the program, I worked with her. I addressed a lot the spirituality side of her, and looking after herself and doing self-care, practicing self-care. And eventually she got to read again, because she had completely forgotten to read, or given up to read, because she always took care of others and was exhausted. And she started reading and read every night. I don't know how many pages, several books per week or per month. It was quite amazing. And she also lost over 16 pounds just after a few weeks. So when you see that, I mean, it's really things which warm my heart to see that, because imagine, what working with me can do for you also. I mean, you can feel better and have more energy and lose weight, and also to deal with better with stress or improve your digestion. So I see here that, some as comfort. I like what you write, Leonard, as comfort. You do all the right things. There is so many things which I think you can get better. I think there are ways to get better, and I invite you perhaps to listen a little bit longer what I offer you. I have something which might help you. It takes time. It takes really an individual approach. As I say, not all approaches are the right ones. So I invite you, if you liked my webinar and you found it informative, that you perhaps might want to go deeper. So if you showed up today, I think you really want out of your current situation. So if you're kind of sick and tired of being sick and tired, if you are so exhausted that you don't get really out of bed, or if you're overwhelmed, to do even the normal chores or your normal work, or feel bad about it because you can't do it. I mean, a lot of people, it's like this. If your stress is just too much to take it anymore, or if you don't sleep well and you can't function anymore, I've got something for you. So I have put together a program in which I have a holistic solution to help people who want out of exhaustion and adrenal fatigue. There's nothing what is theory. It's all things I have tried myself. And also I've studied a lot of things. I've worked with a lot of people, like with Dr. Chris Jansen and other people in the adrenal fatigue. And I put all together, and I actually put it into easy systems that work. The problem of most programs is they're so complicated, or they're so short-termed that they don't work. And what I put together are easy systems which you can use over and over again in the long term. And so if you want to learn more on how to achieve more energy and stop the vicious circle of no sleep and exhaustion, burnout, and being overwhelmed, I welcome you to my new program, which is called Multiply Your Energy. And these are 6 proven methods to overcome burnout, aka adrenal fatigue syndrome, and reclaim your vibrant self again. So this will help you to go from stressed, exhausted, tired, with adrenal fatigue issues, underperforming, sick and digestive issues, or overweight and overwhelmed, to losing weight, to getting better health, to getting better digestion and more energy. It's amazing. I mean, I told you earlier how much better I felt when I was doing this. You get better sleep and a definitely better purpose. And you will feel happier and much more relaxed and confident. And you can also travel better and be balanced, more in life. So I want to tell you in my program what is in there, because I'm really happy I put it all together. So we have Module 1, Nutrition for Optimum Adrenal Health. Sorry, drinking water again. Don't forget to drink water. So in there, I talk about improving your energy, health, and weight with the right foods. Now, I see often people do not eat the right foods. And that's where most of the problems are, actually. And that's why I start off with this. Identify the right foods, and obviously those foods to avoid or to limit. And when you do that, you will see really that your energy will increase so much. It's just amazing. And your digestive system will, work again properly. And this is on the root cause of a lot of problems, a lot of other health issues. So if you really have the right foods and know what to eat and to avoid, and get your gut health really properly, that's really important. Also, I will speak there about the problem foods. There are a lot of intolerances, as I mentioned, and that is not always the obvious thing. We don't know always what we are actually intolerant to, and some so-called healthy foods we might be intolerant to. And I also will speak about supplements which are useful. and which food alternatives you can use instead of sugar or gluten. The second week will be healthy eating in real life. So there I will speak more about how to adapt the healthy eating in modern life. Again, one of those big things, a lot of people are, not able a lot of people, I thought I lost here the power. A lot of people are not able, to follow actually a program because they're so complicated, because they travel or they work hard or whatever it is. So here I find really easy things to adapt it to, if you work, if you travel, into your life. And so you can adapt it. There's shopping lists and ideal meal plans and sample recipes. And I even share with you a recipe book. And there will be a bonus of a smoothie recipe book as well, because I know Leonard is very keen on smoothies. So there are lots of things which help you, to implement it in your daily life. Model number 3 is stress eating. So there we speak about stopping the emotional eating and start mindful eating, because in the end, often people know what they should eat, but they don't, because it's all somehow in our childhood. We perhaps have, had a childhood and it was difficult, and we are eating, whenever we are stressed or whenever we are emotionally upset, we, go and eat the chocolate or the tub of ice cream or whatever it is. So recognizing the stress and emotional eating triggers and replacing unhealthy with healthy eating behavior is something I will go very deep in it. And I have also there excellent people I will interview. We have some experts who will join me in my program, and I will have interviews, and there's some specialists there who really have amazing insight there. And we will practice mindful eating and have a food journal there as well. Module number 4 is exercise, how to incorporate exercise adapted to your lifestyle. Now here we will go in really, not people who are too tired even to get out of bed will not exercise. So I will give several ways of exercises for those who are really, really stressed and wired and tired, and those perhaps who feel a little bit better. Again, also for those who travel, how to incorporate exercise while you travel and while you have a stressful job. Just to add like 15 to 30 minutes of exercise into your day is important. In week number 5, we go all into mindfulness, rest, and happiness. So you get a little bit what I'm speaking about. I mentioned a few things, but obviously in my program, I will go deeper into that. So we find easy sleep and meditation practices, which we will practice there. Learn sleep's do's and don'ts. By the way, I'm reading an amazing book of Sean Stevenson about improving your sleep. A lot of my knowledge is from there. And mindful practices, we have, meditation, which we will include there. And the last week of my program is the maintenance. And there again is really how to implement it, in your daily life. So you can have this lifestyle forever and be healthy forever and have your energy forever, like me. I mean, it's really, I had no energy before, it was like always tired. And if I do and follow my own things, what I say, I'm just good. And, I usually eat quite well. I have obviously my days, I don't. And that's fine because I know how to minimize it, and most of the time, even if, I have a bad night or so, and I do sometimes, how to get back on the horse. That's all the secret. We can't be perfect all the time, but it's about habits, implementing long-term habits. And that I have learned. I do every morning my routine in the morning, and I will give you motivation tips and give you, share with you all the cheats and hacks I have. And especially for the holidays and while traveling, I will give you some survival tips because that's so important. So in my program, I have, will teach you all the fundamentals of the healthy holistic program to heal your adrenals. But I give you really the tools to understand your health better and take better health decisions. I like to empower people, to really know more about their own health and how they can take it in their own hands, with obviously the help of a professional. But knowledge is really important. So in those 6 weeks, you learn which foods support health and stress and the adrenals and your weight, and which are counter-indicative. And this will lead to more energy, better health, and weight loss. And also, recognize and banish stress foods and enjoy eating. So, you actually enjoy eating. I mean, food nourishes you. You sleep better and learn mindfulness techniques, and that will lead to happier and more balanced with newfound energy. Become fitter and happier through bulletproof exercise, which is really important for longevity, and also implement your long-term habits and include cheats and stay motivated. So did you know that, you can really fully recover from adrenal fatigue when you treat it holistically? So what you get here is a 100% online program. So you can follow it at your own pace. I will, every week the modules will be released. You can follow it when you want. You can be there when you want it. You can download it as well. I will have videos. I will have also the audio of it. And what is so special about my program, it's a hands-on transformational group coaching. So I will teach you the technique and, what it's all about, each module. But then we will do exercises. So it's like a technique I use, and that gives really transformation. So while we are there, I share, we do together those exercises, and you can practice it while you're there. We have actionable steps each week. So you get little homeworks. They're not too difficult, but things so you can, over the week until next week, you can implement them. And you get lots of planners and checklists and cheat sheets, recipes, hacks, how-tos, and so much more. As I mentioned, everything will be recorded and available as video and audio, and there will be the documents with it. And you will, be able to download it anytime, and obviously it will be available for you. I have included plenty of bonuses. So you will have access to my private Facebook group. So now this group is really, really special. It is a group which, it's only for you guys. It's a secret group. The only participants in my program are part of this, and they can access it. And we share the success and questions. If you have any questions, also we share those. Either I will answer it, or perhaps your peers can answer it as well. Really important. I mean, there's so much success I got out of these groups in the past. And second bonus is that I include a lot of options, for you while traveling, holiday and all these, to make your life easier. Expert interviews. I've lined up a lot of experts who, will go a little bit deeper, and you can then also go deeper if any of this rings a bell to you. So great specialists I'm working with, some of good friends of mine or colleagues, and a lot of resources. So the total value of my program is $1,950. So of course, I will not ask you to pay $1,950. In fact, I have a special offer with several options for you. So multiply your energy investment is, instead of $1,950, you have option number 1, where you pay $127 now, and then you pay 2 more installments of $127 over 2 months. I thought I'd make it extra easy for you, so you can pay over 3 times. The option number 2 is one payment of $297, which is an amazing price. And there I give you even a bonus. You have one live Q&A session with me. Now, I have put up a last-minute offer, and that came just recently because I know some people were a little bit short, and they really want to participate, and they asked me to put something out for them. So I put out this offer: pay for one and bring a friend for free. Now, you can share the cost with somebody, or you can gift it to somebody. But the amazing thing is obviously that you can do it together, and that is so much motivating and nicer, actually. So great offers here. You have the deadline for these offers is tomorrow, and then the price will go up. So better be fast. There is an amazing offer. you have here. And you have the possibility of getting that for now. And you have you can go on my website, www.wellnessmethods.com/multiply your energy. So now I just want to share with you a very nice testimonial I got from one of my clients. In just a few sessions, Andrea was able to pinpoint some of the root causes of my fatigue and frequent stomach problems. Her patience and willingness to find ad hoc solutions tailored to your exact needs make her one of the most trustworthy and respected health professionals in South Florida. Highly recommended. And that was Pierre G. in August 2016. Thank you, Pierre. It was a pleasure working with him, I must say. A very amazing person. And he got so many good results. I think I really was able to help him. So if you are interested in having something similar, then, you should definitely come and see me. I also want to say that I have an amazing opportunity. I will throw in my 21-day cleanse, which is valued at $47 if you order while we are live. That's an additional offer. I mean, this 21-day cleanse is actually what brought me to what I'm doing today. It's so amazing. It helps you really to get rid of the toxins. It's not something, if you're very fatigued with adrenal fatigue, I would say if you're stage 3 or so, first of all, work, with this program and bring your adrenals up. But then at a later stage, you can do the 21-day cleanse once you're a little bit stronger. It is amazing. And I'm throwing that free of charge in if you order while we are live here. So you can take me up on that one. It's an amazing thing where during 21 days you get, recipes and what to eat and all the right foods to eat. It's a very nourishing cleanse, actually. So it's not at all too harsh on your system, and it really gives amazing results. So I have also I will also give you 6 months of access to the program. You can download it, as I mentioned earlier, but you will have 6 months. So if, for example, you can't do it now because you have the holidays coming up, you're traveling or whatever it is, you have 6 months access for the program and a 30 days refund policy. If you do your work and you do not feel better, we refund you fully. 30 days guarantee, no question asked. I do, however, always ask people to try it out, because without the work, it's not working. I mean, honestly, I can do only that much. I work with you, but you have to do the work. It's that's how you get success. This program is really, really a game changer, because it's not just, like a video and whatever program, but it offers real coaching. So we have a lot of material, a lot of exercises we do while we are together. It's interactive, not only one-sided, and it's very personalized, multidimensional, and lots of options and bonuses. We have a complete holistic solution, which was for me so important, because I love to include all the senses, because then only it works. So through the transformational nutrition approach, we explore the audiovisual, but also touch, taste, and smell. And I do that, when we are on one of the mindful eating. And you see it actually, if you go to wellnessmethods.com/multiply your energy. And I just see actually there's a mistake on the slide. It's wellnessmethods.com/multiply your energy. And there I have a little sample video where I show you, what is mind eating. It's quite funny, actually, and you're really gonna get to touch and to taste and to smell. I also go on stress and eating psychology and the acceptance of yourself. Spirituality, self-care is so important. And I have a functional approach to digestion, hormonal, and whole body system, because I believe everything works together. So if you don't include everything and one thing is out of sync, that's where dis-ease happens. And health only happens when everything is in sync. It's highly personalized and individualized. And I have a lot of on-the-go option, vegan and vegetarian options. It's paleo-friendly. And I include a lot of other, ideas in there. So you have various options for you adapted to your own bio-individuality. And it includes real coaching, interaction, the Facebook group, which I mentioned, which is just in itself worth so much and really a great tool I used in the past. There are a lot of, different types of expert interviews I include. And, you can really work in it. Imagine yourself being able to function again, get up in the morning and get through an active day with restful sleep, and be able to do all the tasks like cooking and working and shopping yourself, perhaps before you couldn't because you were just too tired and you had to pass it on to somebody and you felt bad about it. And imagine also yourself of not being awake all night or not falling asleep and having a social life again and feeling, to lead an active lifestyle without pain. And imagine perhaps losing that weight. Imagine. So again, here's what you get. It's 100% unlearn program. You can follow it at your own pace. 6 modules with training videos weekly over the 6 weeks. You have a hands-on transformational coaching after each video, after each, subject of the week, with activities and exercises which we practice the behavior together, actionable steps each week. So we motivate each other. You really get to implement what you learn immediately, and you can then make it a long-term habit. Recommended supplements for each phase, and a lot of support through planners and checklists and how-to and cheat sheets, recipes, hacks. Everything will be recorded and available as video, audio, and transcript, and all material is for download for you. You have the bonus, access to my private Facebook group. Bonus number 2, getting a lot of options for busy people and while traveling and eating outside and in social situations. So no more excuses for you, despite life happening and still having fun. You have all the expert interviews, which are just amazing in itself, and a lot of resources. I share a lot of my personal resources, which help me so much. So all this is $1,950 worth, and all you need to do is click on below or go to www.wellnessmethods.com/multiply your energy and sign up there. You see all the details on there. The price will go up tomorrow. And you have option number 2, you have $127, and then you pay 2 more installments of $127, or option number 2, 1 payment of $297, and the bonus with 1 live Q&A session with me. Also, the last minute offer, pay for 1 and bring a friend for free. So it's in fact half price if you look at it like this. This is an amazing offer. I know it's a personalized life changing event for you. It's really for you. I highly involved in there, and I really want my clients to be having the success they deserve, success I had in the past. So you can definitely sign up on this. If you have any questions, and I'm sure you have plenty, either there will be the questions down there, or best is to email me at welcome@wellnessmethods.com, or also if you go at wellnessmethods.com/multiply your energy, there will be a comment section, and you can send me your questions. I want you to be sure, obviously, that what you sign up here is something, it's a life changer for you. And I'm so glad to have you. I want to thank you, everybody, for your great participation. I am out. I'm going to eat some healthy food and have some breathing exercises and get my stress levels down now. Thanks for being here. It was great having you, and I hope to see you in my program. And I can't wait to start. It will start very soon. The date is showing on my website. So go and sign up now, because tomorrow the price will go up. See you. Bye.